Okay, I'd like to call to order the Township Council regular meeting for Tuesday, April 4th, 2023. If we could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item on the agenda is the Governor's Award recipients for local government excellence. Amanda, do you want to dive into that one for us, please?
Hold on, I just need a mic. I need a mic.
Normally you're loud enough.
Yeah. So this is super duper exciting. I'm going to geek out for a hot second because this is like local government gold. So every year the governor presents awards to local governments for excellence in various criteria. And Concord Township does a lot of awesome things, and we're not always the best promoters of all the awesome things. So this year, as most folks in the room know, we had a really great community partnership project with the Newland Gristmill and our Historic Commission and Historic Society. And it had to do with the 40 Beaver Valley Road property, the Zeckman property. I got it. Child wants to jump in. The Newland Log Cabin, and what we did was it was a great partnership between all of our entities to shorten that up. We Township Council purchased the property. The Historical Commission was involved in us hiring experts to say if the log cabin was viable, if the logs were viable in the house. It didn't look like that at first glance. The structure was sort of hidden. And it's an 18th century structure with the Newland family, which is one of the original 24 landholders of Concord Township. With that, the Newland Gristmill and Tony Shahan was involved as he's an expert in a lot of those areas, and he jumped on board, and all of us collaboratively worked together to hire the right folks and put in some sweat equity. Tony put a lot of sweat equity in, and we cataloged the logs, disassembled the logs, transported the logs, and we plan, Newland Gristmill is planning to rebuild that 18th century log cabin on their site at the Newland Gristmill, which is a perfect home. The township also, as folks in this room know, purchased that property, and we are intending, we received a grant to put a park site there that will pay homage to that history. So it was an awesome partnership, and sent in a award application, and we actually won. So it is super awesome. It was such a great project. I'm so excited, and it started with council's leadership on getting involved in purchasing that property by support of our Historical Commission. So this is what community is all about. These are the exciting moments, and the governor will be awarding Concord Township for a Local Government Excellence Award for building that community partnership to have that happen. So next week during Local Government Week, we get to go to the PA State Museum and receive an award from the governor. Super exciting. I'm not sure that there are other municipalities in Delaware County that have received those. There's only a couple given out per year based on projects submitted. So I'm really proud and excited to be here in Concord Township, and I will turn it over to John Crossan, who I think is good. Who's reading the proclamation? I didn't know who was. Go ahead, Dominic.
Amanda, next time you ought to be a little more excited. Okay.
This is cool.
All right. Next proclamation is Local Government Week. It's a proclamation from April 10th, recognizing Local Government Week. Whereas the week of April 10th through the 14th, 2023, will be recognized by the Township of Concord, Delaware County as Local Government Week. Whereas local government performs functions that significantly impact the day-to-day life of citizens. Whereas local government provides services and programs that enhance the quality of life for residents, making their municipality their home. Whereas local government is administered for and by its citizens and is dependent upon public commitment to and understanding of its many responsibilities. whereas local government officials and employees share the responsibility to pass along the understanding of public services and their benefits. Now therefore be it resolved that Concord Township Council proclaims April 10th through the 14th of 2023 as Local Government Week in Concord Township. Do I have a motion to approve that proclamation?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We have another one, proclamation. This is also National Library Week, whereas libraries have long served as trusted institutions, often the heart of their cities, towns, schools, and academic campuses. Whereas libraries are resources for all and serve people of all ages, interests, and backgrounds, providing the resources and space to engage in lifelong learning. Whereas libraries offer equipment and professional staff support to utilize technology, programs, and services, often free or with nominal charges to users. Whereas we recognize librarians as information professionals who hold the professional values of diversity, equity, and inclusion to meet the needs of all users. Whereas the PA Forward Literacy is Power initiative highlights how libraries and staffs encourage literacy in basic information, civic and social health, and financial, which contributes to the greater personal and community success. Now therefore be it resolved that we of Concord Township Council proclaim National Library Week, April 23rd to the 29th in Concord Township. During this week, we encourage all residents to visit our libraries and explore all that they offer to help PA forward. Do I have a motion to approve that resolution, proclamation?
I so moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Anyone, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I don't think anyone from the library is here tonight, no? Okay, well anyway, we'll pass that along. We have a new event we're going to be doing in this June called the Race for the Watershed Rubber Ducky Regatta. And we have, John, you want to introduce you here on that?
Sure. Steve Jacobs, our new Parks and Rec Director, is here to tell us more about it. Steve, go ahead.
Along with the Newland Gristmill.
And Tony Shahan from the Newland Gristmill is here to join him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or in this case, Brenda.
Thank you, Council. I'm here with Brenda from the Newland Gristmill. Tony's in the crowd as well. June 17th, we have partnered, the township has partnered with the Newland Gristmill on a fun, exciting new event, the Race for the Watershed, 5K foot race and rubber duck regatta. We're aiming to raise money for the Newland Gristmill so they can purchasing some new water quality monitoring equipment. It's a very fun day we have planned. We've been working on it for a while now. If you want some more information on how to get involved and support, you can visit our website, townshipofconcord.com, or the Gristmill's website, newlandgristmill.org, to support purchase ducks. Additionally, we're still looking for sponsors, so if you'd like to sponsor or know anybody who might be interested in sponsoring, please send them our way to the township building or down to the Newland Gristmill. We'd be happy to speak with them about those opportunities as well. And that's it. Brenda, any?
Well, I'd like to add that we're also trying to sell ducks for the race, for the duck race. They're $20 a duck or $50 for 3 ducks. And there's also a trail run, the 5K trail run, which is $35. So.
And all this is, all the information, more specifics are available on the website?
Correct.
For
Yes.
both organizations, I would
Yes,
assume?
newlandgristmill.org and
Township of Concord.
Township of
Okay.
Concord. Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
Okay.
right.
Good job.
Hope to see everybody there. Thanks.
Anybody got any questions about that, or anybody want to buy a duck?
Yes. What's the age group for the duck race?
Oh, it's all ages. So it's the same cost for no matter what the age. And we are going to have children's activities separate from the duck race as well. So,
So the kids could join.
Yes.
Great. Thank you, guys. Upcoming meetings and events. Township offices will be closed this Friday, April 7th. April 8th, there is yoga in the park, 10:30 a.m. Sign up on the website. April 13th, Park and Rec Board meeting. It was moved from April 6th. April 15th, how do you pronounce that? Bear or bar? Bar. Less in the park, 12:30 p.m. Sign up on the website. April 17th, Planning Commission meeting. April 19th, zoning hearing board meeting. April 22nd, bird watch, nature walk at the Small Brook Preserve Barn at 8 a.m. April 25th, the council agenda meeting if needed. And on April 28th, there's a Pico Arbor Day tree giveaway. Sign up as required. Amanda, you want to expand on that tree giveaway a little more, please?
Sure. This is another exciting initiative. We just gave out trees at our recycle day, so even more trees for folks and for our bird preview coming up. But the Pico every year gives away trees at Arbor Day. And this year they've selected Concord Township as one of the areas in the county where they're gonna give away trees. So for our residents, it's super local and easy to come and get a tree. There's a sign up through Pico. It's available on our website. And you have to sign up to get the tree, and we'll have a drive-through here at the municipal lot on the day that the trees are being given away by Pico. So get yourself a free tree. I don't exactly know. I think they have it on the site. I don't know yet. They haven't released that information to us. But I think when you go in and sign up, there might be a selection. I'm not sure.
Okay, thank you. Reports. Finance quarterly report. Dana, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Our township auditors completed their audit fieldwork for 2022 financial statement audits in February. The township's DCED report has been finalized and submitted by April 1st deadline. In March, the township received 68 pension reports from PMRS, which is the last piece of information needed by the auditor to finalize the township's full set of financial statements. In the past, this report has been received much later in the year, so we hope to have the financials in the next coming months. The Rachel Cole Library was awarded $190,348 for a Keystone grant for renovations to the Children's Library. The township worked with the library staff, and we are acting as an administrative role for this grant. The grant will be reimbursed through the township, and then we will pass it along to the library. As far as revenue, current year real estate collections total $1,134,875. This includes March lockbox receipts that have been received but not yet allocated to the appropriate funds by the tax collector. This equates to 72% of the total budgeted revenues. Since the end of the discount period was changed from March 31st to April 15th, a few mortgage companies who usually make the payments at the very end of the discount period have not remitted payments yet. Once these are received, revenues should be comparable to the prior years. The township received reimbursement from DCNR grant awarded to the Chetty acquisition. Funds received were $246,618. The township received 2 grant reimbursements, one from DCNR and the other one from Delaware County Greenways. This grant funding for this acquisition totaled $496,618. Funds will be deposited in the reserve tax fund and to offset the expenses related to this purchase of land. The final cost for the purchases included all professional fees to the township is approximately $514,000. The township submitted for and received 50% of the awarded grant funding for the Beaver Valley Road Pocket Park, which is $89,100, and the Township Park for Smithbridge improvements, which is totaling $109,250. The total cost for the Beaver Valley Road Pocket Park is $356,500, and the DCNR awarded grant will cover 50% of that cost, which is $178,200. The total cost of the Township Park Improvements project is $437,000, and the DCNR awarded grant will cover 50% of this cost, which is $218,500. For our expenditures, communication and security upgrade projects have begun throughout the township properties. Communication upgrades will be made in the township meeting room, as well as council boardroom. Security upgrades are being done at the community center, Smithbridge Park, and the main sewer plant. Total cost of these upgrade projects is $59,774. The township has received its 2023 liquid fuels allocation from the state, which equates to $508,656. Township engineers are working to finalize the list of roads for the road program so the bid packets can be finalized for release. Our budget expectations, current year-to-date general fund operating at revenues is $516,697, which is 12% of anticipated budget revenues. Revenues are less than expected since the real estate revenues collected for the month of March have not yet been finalized and reconciled by the township tax collector. Additional $905,260 is yet to be recorded in the budget for the March real estate tax collections. Once these revenues are allocated to the appropriate funds, operating revenues will be more in line with expectations for the first quarter and comparable to prior years. Current year-to-date operating expenditures of $1,012,718, which is 25% of budgeted operating expenditures. Currently, the township is on track to meet its budgeted operating expenditures. The Public Works Department expenditures are currently below budgeted expenditures due to weather conditions. Contracted snow removal services were not needed. The department is planning on continuing the ongoing inlet repairs that began last year. As we get into the spring and summer months, department expenditures should become more in line with expectations. Thank you.
Thank you, Dana, and I know that every 3 months we have the quarterly reports, and they're a little longer than normal, but I think it's important that it's all entered into the record, and you did a fine job with that. Public safety, Vanita.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, everybody. On behalf of Chester Ridley Crum CRC Watershed Association and Concord Township, I want to first thank all the Concord Township volunteers for helping out with the stream cleanup event to help us keep our streams clean that occurred on 25th of March last month, which was the 25th annual CRC stream cleaning that was held once again last month. Let's keep our water resources clean and safe because this can become one of our resources for drinking water also. Based on Fire Marshal's report, we had 2 fire events last month. One was an appliance fire and one was a brushwood fire. Once again, we saw a spike in accidental auto alarms. We do all need to remain focused in making sure that these accidental auto alarms do not occur so that our fire department and other emergency departments are able to attend to true emergencies. There were 4 fire investigations and 26 fire code investigations conducted last month. Thank you to the fire department for your efforts in conducting these investigations. The safety tip for this month for our residents is avoid flooded roads during heavy rain and tornado forecast and stay away from driving unless you have to in bad weather. Although we have had mild winter season, prepare for potholes coming up soon. As you drive, look for pedestrians and bikers with the weather getting warmer and warmer as days pass. Also, as you prepare for summer, please check your grills for rust, worn parts, and other debris before use. Keep good distance between this grill and your house to keep our homes safe. Please drive safely and watch for any fire hazards. Thank you.
Open Space, Trails, and Recreation, Mr. Crossan.
Thank you, Mr. President. This last week, I'm happy to say we gave away 175 trees at Recycling Day. We had none left, so happy to see residents come out on a rainy day and not just recycle, but get their trees for the community. Bush Hill Farm Master Plan is continues to do its work. We have finished the survey for the community, and that we're in the design process now, so once we have more from a design perspective, we'll be sending up some information to share that with the community. The Beaver Valley Neighborhood Park over on Beaver Valley Road, we've been hosting a series of meetings with the neighboring residents, and we'll continue to do that. I believe our next step is a public open house, and then we should hopefully have a design for that park this summer. You mentioned some of the upcoming events we have. Yoga got rescheduled due to the rain last weekend. It's now this Saturday. The Easter egg hunt was a huge success, got rescheduled to Sunday. We had 8,000 eggs, I think, disappear in 8 minutes, maybe less, maybe 80 seconds. I don't think there was anything left on that field. We have Delaware County is hosting an Earth Day cleanup and tree planting in Clayton Park on Saturday, April 22nd from 9 to 11 a.m. So if you are planning to attend our bird walk and nature walk over at Small Brook Preserve, just around the corner, Clayton Park is doing that Earth Day event just afterwards. We do anticipate having all the final documents. I've said it before, but it will happen next month for the Wilcox conservation easement. We will have those documents for final approval at next month's May meeting. And lastly, we did receive the good word that our neighbors in Chester Heights have entered into an agreement of sale to purchase the 40-acre Powell property in Chester Heights, which does abut Concord Township. So always happy to see open space initiatives underway in our neighboring communities. Thank you.
Okay, Sewer and Public Works, Mr. Gillespie.
Thank you, Mr. President. Report on the Concord Township Sewer Department operations for the month of March. Operations staff performed 6 sewer lateral inspections for property resales. Sewer Department responded to 66 Pennsylvania one-call notifications that include marking public sewer lines in planned work areas. And the sewer engineer is working with PennDOT on the detour plan for the Concord Road North Sewer Project. And once approved, the plan will be posted on the website and shared on social media. This project has been ready to begin once the detour plan is in place. Additionally, daily, weekly procedures, including plant maintenance. On the public works side, monthly maintenance of buildings, parks, roads, fleet and signage, storm drain repairs, mulch at old sites, and completed flagger training, certification through the American Public Works Association. End of my report.
Thank you. Building and Code Enforcement, Colleen.
Thank you, Mr. President. An update on our building permits for the month of March 2023. We actually had 36 permits for the month of March compared to 72 total permits approved prior year. We did see a decrease in the number of building permits, plumbing permits, mechanical permits, and electrical permits. We did have an increase of solicitation permits, went from 0 to 2 solicitation permits. And our COs went down from 33 issued in March of 2022 to 19 issued in 2023. We did have a couple of businesses that opened up past month. The Move building on 202 going southbound has finally opened. And Brewster's reopened, which many kids in the area are very happy about.
Kids Hell.
I think my kids knew as soon as that light turned back on, they were there. And that's all I have, Mr.
Thank you. Planning Commission, Larry.
Thank you, Dominic. Concord Township Planning Commission activities for March 2023. Sean Lawler, Chairman, Mark Elser, Vice Chair. The Planning Commission agenda meeting was held on March 13th, 2023, and the public meeting was canceled for March 20th, 2023. Planning Commission reviewed and will issue comments to Council for CU application NHB-VA LLC Car Wash at 1110 Baltimore Pike, folio number 13000008000. The schedule for the month, the agenda meeting will be held on April 10th, 2023, and the public meeting will be held on April 17th. Exciting news on Planning Commission. We will visit in a little bit, but 2 new members will be introduced and appointed later this evening, so we look forward to having them aboard, that's for sure. That's all for Planning Commission.
Thank you. Solicitor Huey.
Be advised that Concord Ventures has filed a motion with the court regarding their appeal in Commonwealth Court. There was a hearing originally set for oral argument, a time for oral argument on April 14th. That date has been changed to this next Thursday, a week from Thursday, April 13th. Thank you.
Okay, the engineer is not in town. Amanda, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Sure. So I'm going to start with the good stuff. So Recycle Day, you mentioned, was awesome. We had 250 cars come through. And I just want to point out, you don't take credit a lot for you guys, but I'm going to definitely give it. So it's very rare. I've worked in multiple municipalities. We had our council members out in the pouring rain during the morning. That day got gorgeous, but just not at Recycle Day. In the pouring rain, pulling boxes and stuff out of folks' cars, residents' cars, so they could drive through and not get wet. And our folks were out there in the rain grabbing that and helping people recycle their paper, televisions, and all kinds of things, donations for Goodwill. That does not happen very often. So I'm going to give credit to the folks over here as we stood out in the rain and giggled and laughed and helped folks maneuver their way through and give out 175 trees to beautify our township.
Where were you where people were giggling and laughing?
Oh, well, I was drinking coffee and hanging out. I broke 2 umbrellas. But anyway, I just want to make sure that that credit is given because that is actually really important. So I'm going to give you a little clap there for that. It's fun serving with you, I will note. That is true resident service. White glove, I will add. Additionally, Local Government Week. So they just read a proclamation, but I'm just going to geek out for 5 seconds because we're going to have a couple of random things happening next week to hopefully get people engaged with their local government. But I do want to point out something. Does anybody know how many municipalities there are in the state of Pennsylvania? Any guess?
2,000.
Audience or up here? Go ahead.
Too many.
What? Okay.
2,000 plus.
Okay, you guys are like in the middle. So 2,560 municipalities in Pennsylvania.
But only one Concord.
So, only one Concord and only one Governor's Award winner for a Community Partnership Board. So, I just wanted to give that interesting statistic because I think that's interesting in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We have a lot of municipalities, so we should all celebrate. We do a really great job, and I would like to point out, so during Local Government Week, we do have a couple of exciting things. On Monday, and we will be advertising this out, but on Monday at noon, if anybody is interested for a walk and talk at the Smithbridge Park Trail, you can join several of our council members and our new Parks and Recreation Director, and you can talk about anything you want. Hopefully it's good stuff, but if you have anything else to give them, they are there for an ear and to listen. So we're happy if you want to join them at the Pavilion at Smithbridge Park at noon. That is great. On Tuesday, I'm going to be sending out information. I'm looking for some innovation stuff. I'd like to hear from residents on ideas that you have and things that we consider moving forward. On Wednesday, we will be going to Harrisburg to receive the Governor's Award for Local Government Excellence. So that's a big day for us. Thursday, we're going to be doing sort of a throwback Thursday, and we are going to be looking for nostalgic and historical pictures of Concord Township. So if you have anything, we'll have a hashtag on that. You can tag the township, and we'd like to flood the social media with some history and interesting things about Concord Township. On Friday, you can join some of your council members for Coffee with Council from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Same premises. Dominic will be there. Bring your complaints. He loves them. But there will be several council folks there in the morning to listen to any ideas or suggestions, or you just have a question like, why did this happen and why is this? They are there to answer those questions, and I will be sure that there is coffee and donuts and there's regulation. I'll be there, don't worry. But it'll be great. So that's the local government stuff we have. So now to the other side of it. I forgot to include on the agenda an item, and our engineer will kill me. So I am looking to see if we can add an item to the agenda for an authorization to advertise the road program.
Okay, so we would need a motion to...
So I would need a motion to add that. It'll become number 7 on the agenda. So I just need a motion to allow us to include an item that wasn't on the agenda.
And that is permissible.
I'm sorry?
I said, and that would be permissible.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I so move for the approval of that motion.
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, so that'll be new agenda item number 7 under business items, correct?
Yep.
Okay, and that'll be the authorization of the road program. Okay, got you. All right, anything else, Amanda?
Nope.
You sure?
I could go on, but
No, I know you could. That's fine. Thank you. Shut that microphone. Anyway. All right, citizen comment. Anyone with any questions, comments, concerns regarding the township or the agenda? Ask you to come up now. We would need your name and address, please.
Ken Hemphill, 39 Mill Race. To the solicitor, perhaps. I saw that Wolfson went to closing on the land in Beaver Valley, but according to Delco's tax records, only 40 acres changed hands, or did all 60 change hands? You know?
Well, if he's going to, that I don't know. You're correct. I know he did go to closing. We're trying to find out precisely the price that he paid. You're correct. The project entails just shy of 60 acres. I think it's 59 point something. And I don't know the answer to that question. We were questioning that ourselves, but so we'll try to find out.
On the 40 acres, it was about 3 million, and the largest parcel was like close to $1 million for, I think, 20 acres.
So all in,
Yeah, I don't know
for
what the other-
something.
But there's 20 acres that I couldn't find on the site. Maybe it was listed on a different street, but that was Watkin Avenue. Do you know if the other field is considered Watkin Avenue, close to where you live? Would that parcel be considered Watkin Avenue or Beaver Valley Road? Or?
The only thing I can guess, and this is going to be a guess at this point, I mean, obviously, if he's going to move ahead with his project, he's going to need all, well, put it this way, the project that's presently on appeal, if he's going to still stay with that project, he's going to need all 59 acres. If you'll recall, what he took some of the land that Woodlawn still owned that wasn't going to be, quote, under construction, and that was folded in so he could make his area and bulk requirements. So I can't speak to what happened to that yet, but, you know, we're going to try to find out with respect to that 20-some acres.
Oral arguments are open to the public?
Sure.
Do you happen to know what time that is?
I think it's Judge Whalen's courtroom. I believe it's 10 a.m. on the 13th.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Now, the fact that went to settlement, I forget the act that allowed for it to have a lower assessment
Act
if it was
319.
on development. Pardon?
Act 319.
Act 319. I think we should probably alert the school district because,
Yeah, my understanding, the
Yeah.
school district knows, Mr. Kalin knows, our finance person, and
okay,
you're
good.
correct that he would have to pay, there had to be some monies paid back for taxes that were, that they didn't have to pay because it was open space.
Yeah, for the public's benefit, it's an act that provides, if you're going to keep the ground open, you get a lower assessment than the ground would normally be worth. However, if it is sold for development, you go back 7 years and you reset the adjustment, and then the purchaser has to compensate the taxing authorities for that difference in taxes plus interest, if I'm not mistaken. So the school district naturally is the bigger player in this, and we'll just be piggybacking with them. Okay.
On the subject of open space, the 10 acres just north of the motel hillside, is the township interested in that property? There was a for sale sign up for 1 day, and it's gone.
Yeah, so you're correct. There's a approximately 10-acre parcel of land on Baltimore Pike opposite Schoolhouse Lane next to Hillside Motel. And there have been discussions in the past with the owner. We have not had any current discussions or been able to reach the owner, but we are open to those discussions.
Given how difficult it is to get in and out of there, I mean, that should affect the price. Well, thank you.
Agreed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Dean, come on up.
Goble, 7 Quaker Lane. Curious about the township parking lot immediately behind me. Seems to be 2 sets of parking lines, very fainted. One set's north-south, one set's east-west. Every month you come here, it's a guess where you park?
Go ahead, Amanda.
I respond. We actually have plans to resurface the entire parking lot. It's a part of our 5-year capital plan. We have a water and sewer project coming, and that was the holdup, to make sure we got all the lines in and then did it, so we didn't resurface it and then do that project.
Speaking of 5 years ago, gentleman Rufus Miley spoke in June of 2018 that these parking lot lines were disappearing. So it's been a long time.
I agree, and it's been talked about since then, but wait a minute, we did decide to put the public water and sewer in, and there is a plan to restripe, lay out the islands, and put new lighting in that parking lot. But we kept pushing it off because we're going to tear it up to put the sewer and water lines in this complex. Everything you said is is true, and everything Amanda said is true. But now that we have a start date for the water and sewer project, I would hope by this time next year we'll have a clearer direction on the parking lot.
Okay, thank you. The Home Goods 3 metal gates for trash are still blocking the sidewalk.
Okay, we mentioned that to the code enforcement officer. I think he made a visit over there. We will follow up on that again.
And 7-Eleven Concord. Been a couple of times where you have promised me the old James Pool slab that is now a parking lot will have the parking stops as vehicles keep encroaching off that edge. When can that be installed?
I don't know, Amanda, can you look into that and report back to us, please? Thank you.
Thank you much.
Anyone else? Yes, sir. Get you next. No, there's somebody behind you, raise his hand.
Okay, sorry
I'll
about
get
that.
him next, go ahead.
Steve Vizikowski, 3 Woods View Drive in Concord Hunt. I just wanted to, there was a conversation here about the Smith Bridge and the roundabout update. Is it appropriate to ask about that now, or should I wait until that
No, you can ask
segment?
now.
I just didn't know I didn't want to have it skipped over. And,
Okay.
so what is the update as far as the roundabout? Primarily the concern with that is Concord Hunt. This was probably pre-COVID when we were talking about this project.
Yes.
And the impact on Concord Hunt and the cut through, that road and how people are going to be able to get through and around and most likely through our development.
Well, it just so happens, I think our engineer left a report in his absence, and Mr. Gillespie will read you his comments.
I
And we can go
believe
from
that's coming up later in the meeting, but I can handle it now. With regard to Smith Bridge Road, the roundabout and turning lanes, the primary item that remains is right-of-way acquisition. We've been on hold for over a year while historic issue was resolved with PennDOT, which had just occurred. Utility coordination is complete with regard to location and proposed revisions to the impacted utilities. We are hoping to get some initial feedback from them this week, but have not heard back yet, so we may reach out for assistance with PICO. Design is set, working through final plans and specifications with PennDOT, which can occur parallel with the right-of-way acquisition. PennDOT has set the current let date of November 2nd, 2023. That's the latest update that we have.
So November 2nd is when they would attempt to start?
No, that would be when they're going to let the contract out.
So this is not
This will
going to
be
be,
summer 2024.
okay, because, with the school and everything, so
Yeah.
there's concern on
One of
timing.
the
So
things
we're
we-
still a year out.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure it was done during the school months because the buses and
Yeah.
everything else going on.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So the plan for like detouring traffic and all that is still to be created when
That would be
everything-
part of the bid package, I assume. If we do get towards closer to construction, I think if my colleagues would agree, we probably should have a meeting in this room with the affected neighbors,
Absolutely. Yeah.
just to walk through it.
Yep.
We've done that before.
Okay.
I have no problem doing that.
And that's something that would be posted that I could see on your
Yeah,
internet?
yeah, we'll probably will invite,
To the HOA.
we will probably reach out to the HOAs and everybody living along that stretch of road.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Patriots, 40 Watkin Avenue.
How you been?
Good, how you doing? A lot of my questions got answered about the Concord Ventures. Will the Watkin Avenue be in that road project to fix the bottom of Watkin Avenue?
I think it is a bid alternate on the project.
But this, I mean, the last couple of rains, I was away, but it's back to,
Yeah, we have a plan for all that, and it is one of the roads being considered for repaving. That's all I can tell you right now.
okay,
And it would be, the stormwater project would probably happen at that time, too.
okay, thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Anyone else? Seeing none, I was remiss in announcing at the beginning of our meeting that the council met in executive session at 6:30 this evening to discuss an item of litigation and a personnel issue. That being said, we will move on to the business part of the agenda. First part is the consent agenda. And included in that is the council public meeting minutes, approving the council public meeting minutes of March 7th, 2023. Dana, you have the bills for the month?
Sure. The total expenditures is $639,510.12, and that consists of March payroll, $186,134.48. Current bills totaling $278,859.06, and sewer bills totaling $174,516.58. Thank you.
There are no certificates of payment. There is one final financial release of security for Home 2 Suites. It's the final release for the sewer letter of credit in the amount of $44,172. There are no plans to accept as complete for filing. As Larry mentioned earlier, I'm proud to announce that we have 2 new members of the Planning Commission. We are going to tonight hopefully appoint Chris Markland for a term to expire 4/1/25 and Jeff Santilleri for a term to expire 6/6/23. We have a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
We have a second.
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye. I see Chris Markland here. Welcome. Congratulations. And when we interviewed and told you it was one night a month, I don't think so. But anyway, I don't see Jeff here. No, okay. Well, anyway, welcome aboard, and we'll be putting you to work very quickly. Next, John Gillespie, since Nate's not here, you have an update on the schoolhouse lane?
Yes, I do, Mr. President. Revised plans were submitted to PennDOT, addressing all plan-related comments, and anticipate receiving comments back within 30 days. Separately, we will be working next with the township solicitor on various releases and forms for 3 affected property owners. So the project is moving along, albeit slow, but it is moving. End of report.
Thank you. You already handled item number 3 previously. We have tonight representatives of Wegman that are requesting us to hold a hearing for an amendment to the conditional use resolution that is in effect now regarding liquor sales. Is somebody from Wegmans here this evening? Can you please come forward, identify yourself, and explain what your intentions are? Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name's Ellen Freeman. I'm an attorney with Flaherty and O'Hara. We represent Wegmans with regards to all of their liquor licensing in Pennsylvania. I also have here with me this evening Amy Miller, who has been with Wegmans for 21 years. She is the store manager there, as well as the PLCB manager, which just means that she also manages the liquor license at the Wegmans. You may recall I did see some familiar names back in 2015. Wegmans had a hearing before Concord Township to approve the transfer of a liquor license. And with that approval, Concord Township did place restrictions on the operations of their liquor license. So tonight we're here to request one of the conditions to be rescinded or revised in the resolution, and that would be the hours of operation. So currently, Wegmans operates 17 other liquor licenses in Pennsylvania. And with all 17 other locations, they have the same hours. Concord Township is the only one that has restricted the Wegmans hours. And so they are looking to do more of a uniform business operation. With that, I mean, their record really reflects their responsible operations. They're one of the first grocery stores in Pennsylvania to obtain a liquor license. They've been operating liquor licenses for over a decade in Pennsylvania. And with 18 stores over a decade of operations, they have a perfect record with the Liquor Control Enforcement Office. I really can't say that about all of my clients. They are the gold standard in Pennsylvania, and they're the gold standard because they take safety very seriously. They take their liquor license operations very seriously. So back in 2015, one of my colleagues stood before you and testified that they have a 100% carding policy. And still to this day, even though a lot of our grocery stores have dialed back on that 100% carding policy, Wegmans still has that in place. They find that to be really useful, not just for the reputation that they uphold, but to protect all of their sales associates as well. So really the extension of the hours of operation, they don't feel as though it would create any burden on the township. They do have an asset protection specialist that spends at least 40 hours a week at the grocery store, typically during hours where they notice, potentially more threats of theft, or somewhere where it's just a little bit higher risk. So they always employ someone that's going to be there. In addition, the request that they're making is really to ensure that all of their loyal customers have the same amenities. Those who get off on a late shift or don't have that standard 9-to-5 job, and they go and do their grocery shopping a little bit later than the normal citizen would. They don't have everything that Wegmans can offer all their other customers. So again, it's really just to make it more uniform for all of their customers. And they really do appreciate your consideration of that. And with any questions, Amy can also answer. If it's any store questions or if it's liquor license related, I'd be happy to jump in.
Could you explain to council exactly what it is, what hours you have now and what you want to expand to?
Right, so under the conditional licensing agreement with Concord Township, there's a differentiation between the pub hours and the cafe hours. Now that they don't have the pub hours are a little bit moot at this point because they don't offer that same wait staff that they did prior to COVID. But the cafe hours, which is really your beer and wine sales to go, are currently Sunday from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m., Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., and Friday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. The store is currently open from 7 a.m. until midnight, so those are the hours that they wish to sell. Wine sales by law have to cease at 11 p.m., so they would always be ceasing their wine sales at that hour. And then on Sundays, beer and wine sales can't begin until 9 a.m. So a little bit of what we would do if the township was agreeable to it, we would submit a new resolution. They would include all of the restrictions that are still in there, except for the different time restrictions for alcohol sales.
I just had a question with regard to, obviously you were operating the pub previously, and I understand that all pubs have since closed and are no longer an intended operation of Wegmans as a company. But do you do all of your liquor sales under the restaurant liquor license, or do you have two different licenses?
That's a great question. It's just one license.
But it's a restaurant liquor license.
That's correct. It is a restaurant liquor license.
So for you internally, there was simply an internal distinction between whether it was a seated area with service at the pub versus a more to-go option in the cafe.
Sure. So for a restaurant liquor license, the only requirements under the liquor code is that they have seating for 30, which they certainly do in there still, and they have no intentions of getting rid of that seating. And to have a health permit, which they have, as well as prepared foods. So they still have a bunch of prepared foods in that section, so they still do qualify for a restaurant liquor license.
And do you do wine to go sales now?
Yes.
You do. Okay. And so that is an intended continued service that you plan to offer, not just to go.
That's correct.
Packaged wine and beer. Okay. Thank you.
In when the original resolution was done, back in 2015, February of 2015, the hours of operation that were requested and permitted, were they the standard? That's a good one, John. I guess where I'm going at, has something changed in the Pennsylvania LCB that allows them to be sold later? Or is this something that was always there, but you now are asking permission to extend it to that later time?
No, I would say that back in 2015, when this condition was in place, this was abnormal, the hours restriction. Since
What were the state,
before-
would you remember what the
So-
state requirements were at that time?
So it has still been, it has always been under the liquor code. It hasn't changed for at least the past probably 10, 20 years. Restaurant liquor licensees are permitted to sell from 7 a.m. to 2 a.m. Monday through Saturday, and 9 a.m. to 2 a.m. on Sundays. Now, until 2016, when Act 29 went into place to allow for wine expanded sales, so wine to go, they could only sell beer to go during that time. But you could sell, as a restaurant liquor licensee back in 2015, they could have sold from 7 a.m. to 2 a.m., both on premises and to go.
Okay, but the hours that are in the resolution were agreeable to Wegmans at the time. Now they're like to change them.
I believe so. Now, I'm going to consult Amy really fast. Back in 2015, was the store closed at 11 p.m.? No, it's always been open until midnight? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
So
always-
it must have just been, I think, and based on my discussion with your solicitor, Concord Township did put this type of restriction on every liquor license that came through. And so I
Alright.
think your council made it uniform.
Colleen, did you have something? I interrupted you, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, a question regarding the pub and the elimination of the pub in the Wegmans store. What is the long-term intent of using that pub? Is it going to become an area where you sell the beer and wine from? Is it going to be reopened at some point in the future? Should we be looking at addressing the pub in this conditional use if it no longer exists?
That's a great question. I don't personally have that information. I'm not sure if, Amy, if that's in your wheelhouse or if that's corporate and we'd have to respond at a later time. And would that remain seating? Okay. We can reach back out to corporate and see
Just
if they have a
because
response.
it's a condition, I think, Colleen, what you're getting at is it's an existing condition, so are you asking us to completely rescind that condition and any reference to the pub?
So, in my opinion, what the revisions would look like to this resolution would be really more to clarify. I'm not sure if you have the resolution in front of you, but it's number 4 and 5 that discusses pub sales in number 4 and cafe sales in number 5. And I would like to see that become a little more clear as to what beer sales mean, what pub sales mean, and we can lay that out in a way of really clarifying it's really the to-go sales that they're asking for an extension of. So I would envision it would say something like beer and wine sales to go are permitted from 7 a.m. to midnight, Monday through Saturday,
Well,
and not, I'm sorry.
I think, though, procedurally, and I would have to defer to the solicitor, but I would prefer to have another whole conditional use hearing if we do decide to go that way. Personally, at this point, I have a lot of questions for our solicitor and our zoning officer. So I appreciate your coming in with this presentation this evening, but perhaps we can get back to you about what our plans are regarding your request and if we want to hold another conditional use hearing to expand the hours. So
Have the hours of the store changed from the time that this was approved to now, or are you?
Yeah, from what I understand, it was 24 hours. It was a 24/7 store.
Okay, so now the store hours are 6 a.m. to midnight. Okay.
Okay,
good to
sounds
know.
good. So we will get back to you. Everybody agree? Vanita, you have a question? I'm sorry.
So with the pub, I'm sorry, is it completely discontinued for all Wegmans and with no possibility of any future thoughts about reopening, or
I'll definitely
there is a
talk
possibility?
to corporate about it. From my understanding, they are dialing back on their operation of the pubs. I'm not sure that there's any other Wegmans that operate the pub. They really found during COVID that it wasn't being used as much as it used to be. So I think that's a consideration, but I'm not sure how far in advance they would be looking. So I'll definitely follow up and report back either to your manager or the solicitor.
Okay.
Thank you.
So how about we'll get back to you on this, and with regard to the pub, I missed the dollar oysters, so if they could come back, that would be great.
We'll talk to corporate about that
Thank
too.
you.
Well, thank you for your time tonight. If you think of any other questions, please let us know.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Crossen, do you want to hand the resolutions 23 and 24, please?
So Resolution 23 is the approval of a renewal for ground lease between Concord Township and David and Leslie Berkeyheiser for 9.5 acres of fenced pasture land at near the intersection of Garnet Mine Road and Bethel Road to graze 2 horses for the payment of $200 per month for use and occupancy of the property for a 9-month leasehold from April 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2023. The purposes of having a 9-month here is we're trying to get all of our leases on a calendar year. So I move, and there is the lease attached to this resolution. I move this resolution.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And Concord Township is going to the birds, it looks like, right?
Well, hopefully the good kind of birds. Resolution 24 is a resolution to adopt initiatives to be recognized as a Pennsylvania Audubon Council Birdtown, Pennsylvania Birdtown. I can read this, but Concord Township recognizes that birds are indicators of environmental health and pledges to provide resources for them. Pennsylvania Audubon Council, owner of the Birdtown and Birdtown, Pennsylvania service and design marks and offer of Birdtown, Pennsylvania programs and services, will work with municipalities to engage and educate their residents, schools, and businesses about conservation actions that they may take to create a healthier, more sustainable environment for birds, wildlife, and people. Whereas Concord Township recognizes these programs and services could be a powerful tool to increase green living, promote a culture of conservation in our community, and provide a positive social, and economic, and ecological outcomes. Concord Township recognizes that using native plants, reducing stormwater runoff, and energy use can help restore natural systems and ecological integrity. And whereas the elected representatives of the Concord Township have a significant responsibility to provide leadership which will seek community-based sustainable solutions to strengthen our community and increase property values. Now therefore be it resolved that to engage in new efforts to provide a healthier environment for the people and birds of our town, Concord Township Council hereby commits to the ecological initiatives of the program and will create an advisory board to oversee these initiatives, and by doing so will be recognized as a bird town for Pennsylvania. I will note that recently during one of our Parks and Rec meetings, then Steve Jacobs, our Parks and Rec director, recommended that we create that committee being made up of myself, Chris Weaver, who is the owner of Wild Birds Unlimited here in town, Steve Jacobs himself, Mary Beth Stilio from our Parks and Rec board, and Jessica Shahan, or a similar person from the Newland Grist Mill.
Can I just make one add? That this is actually part of the application process.
Oh, okay.
We'll have another announcement.
So we aren't officially a big bird yet. We're still in the nest.
And we would also, as part of this resolution, appoint the Director of Parks and Rec, Steve Jacobs, to serve as Concord Township's agent for the Birdtown process.
Big bird.
Steve Jacobs is the big bird. I so move.
So moved. Do we have a second? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Aye.
So moved.
No, wait. We got item number 7. I just reminded you of it, and I went right by it. Go ahead.
I would like make a motion to authorize receipt of bids for the 2023 road program as discussed earlier in the meeting.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Now do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Thank you for coming out this
Aye.
evening.